Hello students, so welcome back to the Compass channel once again. Today we will be discussing class 6 RMS uh, Sainik school question paper, and we are going to be discussing this question paper today. So let's see what is there in the question paper, all the questions that we are going to be discussing. All right, so okay, so let's read the instructions first. Okay, now this was conducted recently, and many children from Compass, they had given their examination, and we got to see the question paper as well, and you people have must have solved this question paper earlier. So we are going to see this in detail, right? So let's begin with the instructions here. Each questions has four options. There is only one correct answer to each question. Choose the most appropriate correct option and blacken the corresponding circle on the OMR answer sheet. All right, so let's begin with that. Section A, language. Question number 1. Choose the correct meaning of the sentence given below. She lives in her ivory tower. Now, children, before we begin into this, I would like to tell you that there is a major part of vocabulary that comes in such kind of examinations, right? So you should be better prepared for the with the vocabulary, right? Where you get to learn the proverbs, the idioms, the phrases, and they often come. I would say a major part of the examination covers vocabulary part, so one must not skip it. All right, so let's just see. Okay, here, choose the correct meaning of the sentence given below. She lives in her ivory tower. Okay, so now we have here ivory tower. All right, a tower that is ivory, made up of ivory, right? So it is actually, we should not go with the literal meaning of what is written there. There is something hidden behind it. Okay, there is always something, a meaning, something that is hidden behind the written words. So we should not take it as literal meaning of it. Okay, so let's just see. Option number 1, she lives in her imaginary world. She lives in a difficult situation. She lives in an isolated building. She lives on a beautiful tree house. So these two options are irrelevant, I would say, right? They have just been included here to confuse the candidate. Now, between these two, she lives in her imaginary world, she lives in a difficult situation, there is one correct option. What do you think? What should be the correct answer? Now, the answer to this question is she lives in her imaginary world, right? So there are so many people, they have their own imaginary world where they are the ones who think that they are doing everything. I mean, the center of the attraction is them only, right? So there are people who live in their ivory world, and here we have this girl here. All right, that's been written here. She lives in her ivory tower. That means she lives in a imaginary world. All right, so children, you must have heard of uh, this girl, Alice in the Wonderland, and we have such a beautiful story written on it, right? So if you talk about Alice in the Wonderland, you must have read in your library as well. You must have got your hands on this book as well, Alice in the Wonderland. And then she was the one who used to live in her ivory tower, which means imaginary world. Okay, so this is the right answer to the question. All right, so let's just see. Okay, question number 2. Chalo, let's see. Choose the correct meaning of the phrase one's cup of tea. Okay, so let's just underline it first, right? One's cup of tea. See, another. See, that's what I was talking about, vocabulary part. Now, you should be thorough, well prepared in vocabulary. Now, when we talk about vocabulary, it has idioms, proverbs, synonyms, antonym, homophones. So many things are there. Now, it is impossible for a student to learn everything. It's nearly impossible, I would say. So how can you do it? You should you should you know take a set of 10 words in a day, I would say. 10 synonyms, 10 antonyms, that I'm going to practice these 10 synonyms and 10 antonyms, or 10 phrasal verbs, 10 idioms, something like that. So this way you will be able to cover a whole range of vocabulary. Otherwise, it is not possible to mug up the whole thing in a day, right? So you can just bifurcate it, divide it in in a ratio of 10, and that's how you can begin with it. All right, so let's come back. Choose the correct meaning of the phrase "one's cup of tea" from the following options. So let's just see the options here. Okay, not to care, to be carried away, to one's liking, to keep a distance. All right, so it is a phrase, "one's cup of tea." Okay, the correct answer to the question is "to one's liking." This is the correct answer. Now you must have heard of people saying when they say no to something, they say this is not my cup of tea, isn't it? All right, what are they saying? That's not my taste. Okay, I I'm not I'm not the person who takes it or does it. Okay, when they say this is not my cup of tea, right? Similarly, like that, one's cup of tea means to one's liking. Somebody says it is my cup of tea, that means I like doing it. Okay, this is my taste. Okay, I like it. This is what it means. So to one's liking, one's cup of tea. So that's the right answer here. The other options are incorrect. Okay, now question number 3, identify the tense. Okay, very important aspect, tense. All right, when we talk about tenses, right? So one should be very thorough in tenses as well. When these such kind of sentences are been given here, and you have to identify the tense. So there are 12 tenses, right, that we need to study when it comes to tenses. So one should be thorough in this. And how can you do that? By studying one set of tenses in a day, right? Let's say past. Okay, so the past has 4 family members: simple past, past continuous, past perfect, and past perfect continuous tense. So now all these 4 tenses you got to see in a day. Okay, one step at a time, one tense at a time. Practice them, learn the rules. What is the structure? Because the structure is really going to help you out in identifying the tenses. Okay, so structure and usage, let me write it down here. So okay, tense, structure, that's very important. You need to know the structure. What do I mean by structure? You must have seen uh, s plus v1 plus something like that. So what is that? That's a structure. So you should know the structure. And the second thing is usage. When to use which tense. Which tense has to be used here in such kind of situation. If you're talking about a specific period of time, which tense am I supposed to use? So these are the 2 things when it comes to tenses. Make sure that you learn the structure and you learn the usage as well. All right, so let's just see. Okay, you have been working very hard. So have been working. Okay, right, let me write it down here like this. Okay, have been working. Now here we have been, and then this is work. Work means verb, and then ing, right? Okay, sounds a little familiar, right? In which structure do we get to see this? Let's see. Have been plus v1 plus ing. Where do we get to see this? Let's see. Present perfect continuous tense. I do not know. Let's check one by one. Okay. So I'll begin with number 4. Check a future perfect continuous tense. So the structure is S plus will have been plus v1 plus ing. Right, that's the structure of the fourth one. Third, past perfect continuous tense. Let's see. So S plus past perfect. So had been plus v1 plus ing. Okay, second one, let's see. It's present continuous tense. So S plus is, am, are plus v1 plus ing. So that means second, third, and fourth, these three are not the right answer. Let's check present perfect continuous tense. So is it present perfect continuous tense? Yes. So this is the first one, right? You have been working very hard. So that's present perfect continuous tense. Okay, so that's the correct answer. You should be able to recognize the tense by having the structure. Okay, learn the structures, very important. Okay, so there are 12 structures for you to learn, and if you have not been learning those, this is the right time. Learn them. Okay, so let's see. Okay, let's clear all the feedback here. Okay, number 4. Fill in the blank with correct degree of comparison. Okay, right. So when we study adjectives, then we also get to study degree of comparison, right? Because, um, you know, let's say, mm, let's take an adjective. For example, uh, let me write it down here. So he is a tall man. Okay, so that's the noun, and an adjective describes the noun. So this is the adjective here, adj. Okay, now tall is the positive form, taller comparative, and then tallest superlative, right? Yes, so adjectives, they always go hand in hand with degree of comparison, right? So I think this is clear. Okay, so let's just see, fill in the blank with correct degree of comparison. So let's find out. So do you work most than Neelam? I want to talk about this most, okay? Now that's superlative. Superlative. One thing that is very important about superlative degree is that it always comes with the article the. The is going to be there. Okay? So it will be the best, the most, the tallest, the hardest, right? So what is common? What is something that I want you to learn? The. Okay, the is going to be there with superlative form. But do I see any the here? I don't see. So that means chances of most is not there. We cannot use most. We cannot write down do you work most than Neelam because the is not there. Okay. Another thing that I want you to understand is here we see than. Now it depicts, it shows comparison, right? Which brings me to this conclusion that comparative degree is going to be used. Okay, comparative degree. Okay, so tall, taller, tallest. So taller is the comparative degree, tallest superlative, and tall is the positive degree. So let's come back. Okay, so what do you think? Much? Do you work much than Neelam? No, that is also wrong. Do you work the most than Neelam? No. Do you work more than Neelam? That's right. That is actually proving and showing comparison, right? So that's the comparative form. So do you work more than Neelam? Okay. Okay. So something more that I would like to tell you about degree of comparison. Now there are long adjectives like intelligent. No, just a piece of information that I would like to give you. Intelligent, beautiful. These are all long adjectives. Okay. So how do we make comparative form of them? We cannot add ed to it. We cannot add est to it. So what do? So we write down more intelligent and then more beautiful in the comparative form. And then in the superlative you write down most intelligent, right? Okay. And then here also most beautiful. That's what you write. Okay, what do you add? You add these words. This is what you add. Okay, but I'm going to write down something here. What do you think? Is it right? More taller. He is more taller than him. What do you think? That's wrong. Instead, he is taller than him. Right? So we cannot add more to it. That is going to be wrong. Okay, so keep that in mind. Okay. So let's come back to question number 5. Fill in the blank with the correct degree of comparison. Again, we have Arun ran dash of all. Come on. What should be the right answer? Come on. Okay. So it says fast. Okay, some word is written which is invented, I would say. All right. So now we have fast. Arun ran fast of all. No, that's wrong. Arun ran faster of all. That's also wrong. Now this is showing, what does it show? Superlative. It's talking about superlative, the highest degree of comparison, right? Superlative. Okay, degree. All right. So what do you think? What should be the right answer? Okay. It has to be fastest of all. Okay. Arun ran fastest of all. Okay. That shows the superlative degree here. Okay. So let's move forward. Question number 6. Complete the sentence with a suitable article from the options given below. Okay. Now that's a very famous quote or a phrase that I would say, right? So the darkest cloud has dash silver lining. What should be the right article that we should use here? The darkest cloud has a silver lining, has an silver lining, has that silver lining, or has the silver lining. The darker cloud has the silver lining. What do you say? Come on, articles. Okay. Now a little difference that I would like to show you. Now, a and and is used with general nouns. Okay. Article the is used for specific. Okay, particular. Okay, so keep, yeah, you can just jot down these notes as well. All right, used with general nouns. Okay, okay. Now, simply, what does it mean? A and an refer to something in general, common. The is specific, pointing out, highlighting something in the sentence. Okay, so that's the minute difference between a and the. Okay, so let's see. The darkest cloud has, and the right option is a silver lining. The darkest cloud has a silver lining. So that's the right answer here. Okay, that is not an article. This is not an article. No article. Okay, so question number 7. Okay, I would like to again repeat so that you understand it better. That is also a part of vocabulary, right? Okay, question number 7, let's find out. Correctly spelt word from the options given below. So the word is biscuit, right? Very common word, but we have different kinds of spellings written over here. So what do you think? What is the right answer? Okay, so these two look same, so any one of it you can just put a tick mark. So I'm going to put a tick mark on the third one, that is biscuit, right? That's the correct spelling. Okay, okay, this is not. Let's put a cross here. Okay, so very confusing spellings also come in such kind of examinations, for which you should be well prepared. No, there are spellings very confusing, having IE and EI, right? So one of the words is believe, but if we write down receive is written like this, isn't it? And then achieve, right? And then word like accommodation, which is very confusing among children, isn't it? And then we have some words like assassination, right? Children, they get confused. So you should be well prepared, well versed in spellings as well. Okay, how can you learn? You know, uh, start with simple words. All right, confusing simple words that can be easily learned. Then you can come to such long words, accommodation and assassination, and so on. Right. So this is how we do it. Okay, let's begin with the question number 8 here. Identify the sentence in which simile is used. What is a simile? All right, shows comparison. A simile shows comparison. Okay, let me write down. A simile shows comparison with the help of words like as. Okay, you will always find simile with the help of words like as. All right, so let's see. Uh, identify the sentence in which simile is used. He plays cricket. Okay, he likes to play cricket. He runs like a leopard and he is running. So here I don't see any comparison. Though the word likes is there, but I don't see any comparison. What does it do? It shows comparison. Don't forget this. Okay? But he is running, no comparison. He plays cricket, no comparison. The word like is there, but no comparison. We are left with the third option. He runs like a leopard. Like a leopard. Okay, so showing comparison with the help of word like. That is a simile. Okay, now, okay, so I would like to share the difference, bring the difference between simile and a metaphor. You know what is a metaphor? It also shows comparison, but these two words are not there. These two words are not there. Okay, for example, he okay, let me put it this way. Chalo. He was like a lion on the battleground. Okay, so this is the sentence here. He was like a lion on the battleground. So like is the word simile, but the same sentence can be written like this. He was a lion on the battleground. So what is this? This is a metaphor, right? And this is a simile. Fine, that's the difference. Both of them show comparison. One shows comparison with the help of like and as. The other one shows comparison without using these words. That's the difference here. Okay, so this is the correct answer here. He runs like a leopard. Question number 9 we are going to do. Fill in the blank with correct form of the verb. Lokesh was busy when we... Okay, let's try. So we have simple past tense here. Was. So no chance of goes because this is in present form. This is present form. We can't use this. Okay, can we go with gone? What about this? Can we use gone? No, we cannot, because with gone then we require had. Had is not there, so we cannot use gone. Okay, go, that also comes with simple present tense, but since it is simple past, so we cannot go with go, right? But what about went? Lokesh was busy when we went to see him. So that's the right verb that we are supposed to use here, because here was is used, so simple past tense that tells us, indicates, so we are supposed to use went. Okay, so we should do it this way. Okay, question number 10, let's do this. Fill in the blank with correct form of the verb. 40 rupees dash a small amount. Now 40, all right, 40. Okay, it is coming from the lesson subject verb agreement, and this is very confusing. Okay, children, they really get confused here. Okay, because what do they see? They see that 40 rupees are there, but I want you to understand that it is used here as a unit. Children, I said a unit, 1 unit. 40 rupees is used here as 1 unit, a unit. So that's why we are going to use the singular verb with this. Okay, 40 rupees. What do you think? What should be the right answer? So is the right answer. 40 rupees is a small amount, not has, not are. but it has to be is. Is the right answer. Okay. Question number 11. Let's see this. Fill in the blank with correct preposition. He has retired uh, into the business, of the business, with the business, or from the business. So the correct preposition that we are going to use here is from. He has retired from the business. All right. Okay. Let's clear all the feedback here. Question number 12. Let's begin with this. Fill in the blank with correct prepositions. So students, from slowly from vocabulary to grammar we have come into, and we are doing this. So aeroplane is flying dash the cloud. So you know the aeroplanes, where do they fly? So what should be the right answer? Let's see. Okay, over the cloud? No, it cannot be over the cloud. It cannot be, right? At the cloud? No. Aeroplane is flying all over the cloud? No. Above the cloud. So that should be the right preposition here. Above the cloud, right? Aeroplane is flying above the cloud. So that's the right answer. Question number 13, we are going to do adjective. Right in the beginning, we had talked about it, but let's see. Identify the adjective from the given options. Okay, so birth, no. Birth is not. Okay, it's a noun. Bite, bite is a verb. What about blame? Blame, again, it is a verb. Okay, but blind, okay. She is a blind student, right? So noun, okay, and adjective describes the noun. So blind is the right answer. Fine, this is how we do it. Okay, let's clear all the feedback. Okay, question number 14. Fill in the blank with the most suitable option given below. She has dash for 1 month's leave. Okay, so she has demanded. What do you think? Can we demand for a month's leave? No, we cannot demand, right? What about lobbied? Okay, what does it say? Lobbied doesn't make any sense. She has called. No, you cannot call a month's leave, right? But definitely it has to be asked. Okay, has to be asked. So let's write down here. She has asked for 1 month's leave. Okay, question number 15. Choose the word that is opposite to demolish. Okay, opposite to demolish. Demolish means to destruct something, all right? To bring down something. So demolish. So opposite to demolish. What do you think? So dismantle is actually a synonym. Okay. Okay. Raise, grow, erect. What do you think? What should be the right answer? Okay. So opposite to demolish has to be erect. Okay. So you bring down something that is demolished, you erect something. That is called, that is the opposite of the word demolish. Let's see, what do we have next in store? Question number 16, fill in the blank with correct form of the verb. If I dash a doctor, I would serve the poor. All right, so we have some options here: had been, was, am, and then were. Okay, so the right option is going to be were. If I were a doctor, I would serve the poor. Now, you must be, thinking about why have we used were with I, isn't it? Right? Because usually we do not use. We always use was. I was you know, playing. This is how we say usually. But why were? And that's the right option. Okay, let me tell you. When we use were with I, if I were, blah blah, whatever. So we are expressing something, we are wishing for something that is yet not completed, or you are not able to fulfill it. It has not been fulfilled. Then in that case, we always write down were. If I were, right? So, for example, say, if I were the prime minister of my country. Now, that's a desire. Has it been fulfilled? Have you fulfilled it? Are you a prime minister? No, you are not. Right? For example, if I were the principal of my school, now that's a desire. Cannot be fulfilled or yet not fulfilled. Right? So when you express a desire which has yet not been fulfilled, so what do? You use if I were. Were is the right verb that you're going to be using here. All right. So were is the right answer. Fill in the blank. Okay. 17th one. Let's do this. Fill in the blank with suitable conjunction. I don't know dash she left the house. So I don't know where she left the house. No, that's incorrect. I don't know, but she left the house. Wrong. I don't know while she left the house. So option number one is going to be the right answer. I don't know why she left the house. That's the right and suitable conjunction that gives it a sense. Okay. Question number 18 we are going to see. Choose the correct option to improve the sentence. We are to meet him next week. Okay. Okay, so we have meeting him next week. No, that's wrong. So option one is wrong. This is again, coming from the chapter tenses, right? As I talked about the usage and I talked about the structure. So here comes the usage. How are you going to use it? Let's see. So we are to meet him next week. That's wrong. We have meeting him next week. Wrong. We would be in meeting him next week. That's also wrong. Okay. We were to meeting him next week. That's also wrong. But what about this one? Third one. We are meeting him next week. That makes sense. And that's present continuous tense. Present continuous tense. Okay, so that's the right answer. Question number 19, choose the correct question tag. Okay, question tag is also one of the most important parts of such examinations, right? One should not neglect it. So choose the correct question tag from the given options to complete the sentence. Everything is fine. So let me give you a insight of what are question tags. Now question tags they come after the sentence, right? A comma, and here we are going to be having a sentence. For example, he has a car, right? Comma, doesn't he? Right? That's the question tag, right? Okay. Now, what is the rule? If the sentence is positive, question tag is negative. And if the sentence is negative, the question tag is positive. Vice versa. I'll repeat it once again. If the sentence is negative, question tag is positive. And if the sentence is positive, the question tag is going to be negative. Okay, so this is how we do it. So here, in this case, all right, let's see. Everything is fine. And then we have a dash here. All right, so what should be the right answer here? Okay, so let's try. Everything is fine. Is so, is it, isn't so? Let me tell you. All right, so the correct answer to this question is going to be isn't it. Everything is fine, isn't it? Okay. Now, how have we got this? See, this is the sentence is positive, so question tag has to be negative. So is and then not, isn't. Okay. And if I have to replace everything, I will replace it with it. Okay, I cannot write down anything else. Isn't, he or she or they, we cannot write down. So everything has to be replaced with it. Okay, so that's how we got the answer. Everything is fine, isn't it? That's the right answer. What is the rule? If the sentence is negative, the question tag has to be positive, and if the sentence is positive, the question tag has to be negative. Okay, question number 20. Fill in the blank with suitable question tag. Again, we have suitable, we have a question from question tag. Okay, so there is no doubt, but pay attention, right? No is there, which means this is a negative sentence. So question tag has to be positive. Let's see. So is there, right? This is going to be used here. Come on. There is no doubt. Is there? That's the right option. Okay. I hope you are getting it, right? Okay. Let's clear the feedback here. Okay, now we have a comprehension passage to solve. Okay, let's see. So questions from 21 to 25 are going to be based on this passage. Let's read this. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam was the 11th president of India. He was a great man with a high level of intelligence. He was born and raised in Rameshwaram, Tamil Nadu. He studied physics at the St. Joseph's College, Tiruchirappalli, and aerospace engineering at the Madras Institute of Technology, MIT, Chennai. He was a good student throughout his school years, popularly known as the Missile Man of India. Dr. Kalam had led India from one achievement to another in space technology. He played very important role in India's Pokhran 2 nuclear tests in 1998 after the original nuclear test by India in 1974. He had been awarded with the Padma Bhushan in 1981 and the Padma Vibhushan in 1990. The United Nations recognized Dr. Kalam's 79th birthday as World Students Day. Yes, we celebrate World Students Day, right? So this is the passage here, right? On the basis of this passage, we have some set of questions starting from 21 and going till 25. 25th is going to be the last question of the question paper. So we usually get, we get only 25 questions to solve in English section. Okay, so choose the correct option to fill in the blank. Let's see. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam was born in, yes. Okay, you need to be sure of the details that we have read. So not Chennai, not Pokhran, not Tiruchirappalli. This is Rameshwaram, right? So he was born in Rameshwaram. Okay. Question number 22. According to the passage, choose the incorrect statement. Dr. Kalam is known as the Missile Man of India. All right, Dr. Kalam played very important role in India's nuclear tests in 1998. So these two are right. Okay, these two are true. We have to find out the incorrect one. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam was the 11th president of India. That is also correct. What about fourth one? Dr. Kalam received the Bharat Ratna in 1991. Now that's incorrect, right? So the right option to put a tick mark is number 4. Okay. 23rd, choose the correct option. The United Nations recognized Dr. Kalam's 79th birthday as, what do you think? National Students Day, World Students Day, World Science Day, National Science Day. So undoubtedly it's World Student Day. Okay. Dr. Kalam had led India from one achievement to another in space technology. Okay, so here we have to identify the part of speech for technology from the given sentence. So what is technology here? Is it a verb? Is it a pronoun, adjective, or a noun? What do you think? What is it? Come on, let's read it once again. Dr. Kalam had led India from one achievement to another in space technology. So undoubtedly this is a noun, nothing else. It is not a verb, it is not a pronoun, it's not even adjective. All right, so it's a noun. Okay, so the final question of the day, right? Okay, so let's see. Choose the synonym of recognize. Okay, so identity, familiar, identify, or known. Okay, so very confusing, but recognize, it's going to be identify. Okay, identify is the right answer, not identity, not familiar, not even known. Okay, so these are very close related words, just on purpose kept in the question paper to confuse the candidate. But if you are sharp enough, right, you will be able to find out the correct answer. So recognize synonym is identify. So with this, children, right, I would like to rest my case here. So we have discussed Sainik school question paper, and which was recently conducted, and then I have discussed all the questions with you, and hope it was helpful and insightful lesson for you. And I'm going to be seeing you in the next lesson where we are going to be discussing more questions, important questions from the previous year question papers and the topics as well. Thank you very much.